YouTube expands its policing of virus misinformation from virus to the vaccines.
Dollar Tree said your dollar is worth only dime now.
Beijing Winter Olympics announced Chinese owning game.
CCP violated a trade deal and blocked billions of dollars plane purchased from Boeing.
General Milley said he informed Mike Pompeo of his call to the Chinese general, but Pompeo said no such thing.
Another feature story, Steve Kirsch continued to tell us the insights that he sees in Silicon Valley tech censorship.
Welcome to Wei and Kathy Show. I'm your host, Wei Fang.
And I'm Kathy Zhang. Today is September 29th.
Right, okay. So we'll get right into the news. There's quite a few news that we need to let you know. The first one actually has to do with this very show you are looking at, okay? YouTube actually announced today that it will ban several prominent accounts that spread false information about vaccines, a move that is part of an expansion of its medical misinformation policies. That means the video implying a vaccine causes autism, cancer, or infertility will now be taken down. As part of the policy launch, several high-profile accounts are being pulled down already, okay? And what are they? The account of Robert F. Kennedy's Children's Health Defense Fund, alternative medicines influencer Joseph McCullough, and the vaccine critic and physicians Sherry Tempani will be removed.
Yeah, and YouTube said that it was focused specifically coronavirus vaccine misinformation, but starting Wednesday, which is today, it would expand what it started with COVID-19 to other vaccines. That's was stated by a YouTube VP. Said in a statement.
So we'll be having more of that on the later part of the show. And let's move on to the, something that may be close to your life, especially if you live in the East Coast. Dollar Tree is an American chain of discount variety stores that It sells items for $1 or less. It is headquartered in Virginia. It is a Fortune 500 company and operate more than 15,000 stores throughout the 48 contiguous U.S. states and Canada.
Yeah, so actually it's not only affecting folks living in East Coast. We have Dollar Trees in California as well.
Okay.
So Dollar Tree said today that it would break the buck on certain items and start selling certain items at $1.25 and $1.50. Highlighting the pressure rising costs have put on companies to hike their prices. Other items would be priced at slightly above $1.
All right, and the consumer prices are up 5.3% in the last 12 months. And that's the highest level of inflation since 2008. Many businesses has feel squeezed, although perhaps not as much as the one whose premise was linked to charging less than $1 for everything in the store. So do they need to change their store name?
Well, dime store?
Yeah.
No.
Dime store, no. It's like $2 store. How about that?
Right.
Anyway, but we say that your dollar is only worth dimes now. And what's the takeaway? The takeaway is the inflation, right? You feel about that. I feel that about that. We all feel about that. The inflation has been running really high.
Yeah. All right. So let's take a look now at the 2020 Winter Olympic Games. The International Olympic Committee announced today that only Chinese citizens will be permitted to buy tickets to attend the 2020 Winter Olympic Games.
2022.
2022 Winter Games in Beijing. The International Olympic Game Committee made its decision after quote-unquote wide-ranging consultation with China's communist government, the committee said in a statement.
Yeah. Okay, so there was the statement was done actually by the International Olympic Committee. Okay, they said due to the coronavirus and they need to consider the security. So after consultation with the Chinese government, the statement original word is like this: ticket will be sold exclusively to spectators residing in the China's mainland who meet the requirement of COVID-19 countermeasures. All right, and earlier in April, it was reported that the U.S. was considering a boycott of the Beijing Olympics. However, a spokesperson of the U.S. Department of State quickly denied that the U.S. was considering any such thing. All right, but the red Chinese government immediately issued a warning to the U.S. not to lead any boycotts of the Winter Olympics. Beijing vowed a robust Chinese response to any boycotts.
But regardless, various human rights groups continued to urge a boycott of the Games in Beijing. Women's Rights Without Frontier, which is one of those groups, blasted the game in China, calling them the genocide games.
Yeah, okay. Yeah. Just a little bit of commentary here. So why did they do that? Actually, the reason why they are doing that is because they sense the boycotts are coming. So they try to show a stronger hand, saying that I don't wait you to boycott me. I'm gonna boycott you. So in the name of the security during COVID-19 time, they're actually taking this measure to preempt the potential boycott of the international community.
Okay, so when on one hand the COVID-19 pandemic really becomes conveniently an excuse, right? And also it's new to us. It's a very frequently used kind of a face-saving tactic by the CCP.
Yeah, this is the CCP. Okay, this is communist. They treat everything as a battle. There's class struggle. Every move by the international community is meant to doom them. So they are belligerent throughout his life, and this is just another case. All right. So this I don't know how IOC, International Olympic Committee, think about this. Will they ever award any game opportunity to Beijing anymore? Because this is not called the International Winter Olympics. It's called the Chinese Winter Olympics, because no people is going to go.
Well, what's the takeaway? If you wanted to watch the Olympic game next year, go to China, live there for a while. I bet, I don't know how many people would do that.
Actually, for a lot of socialist-loving people in this country, actually, Kathy and I, we message people, right? So our usually the best and the last advice is,
go and live there.
Yeah, we respect your opinion. How about this? You go live there.
Right.
Live there for 1 to 2 years. Then you tell us how you feel about socialism.
Yeah, here you go. There's an opportunity now.
Yeah.
And you can watch the Olympic game there.
You can also see the Chinese Winter Olympics. It's just one stone, two birds, right? It's a good deal. Who's going to heed that? Anyway, okay, let's move on. In the January 2020, you remember that Trump brokered a trade deal between China and the U.S. with the condition of China buying billions of dollars worth of U.S. goods to balance the trade imbalance that exists between the two nations. How did it go?
So the U.S. Commerce Secretary Gina Raimondo told reporters yesterday that the Chinese government is blocking domestic airlines from purchasing tens of billions of dollars in planes from Boeing. And Boeing relies heavily upon business from China, as the country accounts for 25% of the company's total aircraft orders.
Yeah, this is the CEO of Boeing, Dave Calhoun. He said, we cannot afford to be locked out of that market. All right? He said this back in March. He urged the U.S. government to set aside political disputes with Beijing that has hindered the relations between the world's two largest economies. And the Boeing estimated last week that the Chinese airplanes will require Chinese airlines will be buying more than 8,000 new airplanes throughout 2040 in the next 20 years. And the Boeing estimate that the worth of the aircraft is $1.5 trillion. All right. So, and the Secretary of Commerce, she said that Beijing was not fulfilling its commitment to purchase U.S. goods as agreed to a 2020 trade deal brokered by Trump, as we said earlier. And she went on and said they are not respecting intellectual property and stealing IP of the American companies. They're putting up all kinds of different barriers for American companies to do business in China. So in short, they eat all their word. They ate all their word, right? They did not go by the trade deal that was signed between the two nations, and then now they blocked buying the Boeing airplane. Usually, this really got Boeing worried, and possibly got Biden worried, and got the U.S. Chamber of Commerce worried, and get our administration worried. So if they are watching this show, I want to offer this this advice to them. Very, very simple. This is the classic trap that the CCP did for the U.S. and for the West. Simple word. Okay, let me tell the simple word of truth as I know it. China need way more from U.S. than the other way around. Okay, but they don't mind starving their people and starving their airlines. Okay, because they don't mind the casualty. They just want to hurt the U.S. and cause enough pain that a U.S. company would cave in, including our administration. But if U.S. stands strong enough, they see no hope. They're gonna buy the airplane right away. Okay, that's that kind of countermeasure or the strategy is simple and it is effective, but none of the American president ever took it, except President Trump. Okay, they need Boeing airplane more than the other way around. More than the Boeing need, American need their purchasing dollars. Okay, just hold on there. Stay very, very strong, saying that I don't yield. They're gonna come in and buy all the airplane as they would. I don't know whether you believe what I said. This is the simple and the very effective strategy, and fortunately, Trump practiced that. It works. The big U.S. trade war caused no harm to the U.S. economy at all. And it will not cause if U.S. stays strong. All right, now let's move on to the Safe Chat for the second part of the show. And we have some very, very, I think, interesting topics to talk to you about. And
yeah, I already saw, quite a few of our friends leaving comments on the YouTube channel. So thank you for that. And for further discussions, let's move on to Safe Chat.
Yeah, please go over there. And we have enough things to tell you about over there. All right, see you. And